Snow fell softly over the quiet town, coating rooftops and streets in a thick white blanket. The air smelled faintly of pine, cinnamon, and the lingering scent of baked cookies. Inside a small living room, the Christmas tree twinkled with colorful lights, ornaments dangling from every branch. But Ethan, 16, didn't notice any of it. He sat on the couch, notebook in hand, staring at a blank page. Every year he promised himself he would change. Every year the same list of resolutions: wake up early, exercise, study, stop procrastinating, be confident, become better. And every year he failed. He tried to force motivation, scribbling each word with intensity, but the words felt hollow. It wasn't the first time he had felt like this, and deep down he feared it wouldn't be the last. Christmas passed quietly. The laughter, gifts, and festive songs seemed to belong to someone else. Ethan felt stuck, watching the world celebrate while he remained trapped in his own disappointment. When the last candle of the season burned out and the tree was folded away, the approaching new year felt less like a fresh start and more like a reminder of everything he hadn't done. On the last evening of December, he wandered through his room, aimless and frustrated. His notebook lay on the desk, untouched for weeks. That's when something caught his eye. A small red envelope tucked between old books. Dust covered it, but his name was written clearly in his own handwriting. Curiosity overpowered him. He opened it carefully. Inside was a note written by himself last Christmas. Forget big goals. Start with tiny habits. Change doesn't come from promises or motivation. It comes from the small actions you repeat every day. One small step today is better than 100 big plans tomorrow. Ethan felt his chest tighten. He remembered writing those words, but had completely forgotten them. How many times had he chased grand goals, only to give up after a day or two? And here was his past self trying to remind him that the secret wasn't in big promises, but in small, consistent actions. He sat in silence for a long time, letting the words sink in. Finally, he picked up his notebook and decided to start with something so small it felt almost meaningless: 10 push-ups. Ridiculous, simple, almost laughable, but it was something. The next morning, the alarm rang at 7 a.m. His body begged him to stay in bed, warm under the covers, but he remembered the note: 10 push-ups. Done. It was small, but for the first time in months, he felt victory. Real victory. Not the fake excitement of New Year's Eve or the temporary rush of motivation. This felt earned. Day by day, he added tiny habits. 5 minutes of reading, a short walk, waking up 5 minutes earlier. Some days he failed, most days he succeeded, but he never stopped showing up. Slowly, a change began. His mind felt sharper. Tasks he had once dreaded became manageable. Confidence crept in quietly, almost unnoticed, but it was there. Weeks turned into months. By March, mornings felt lighter, and he greeted the day without dread. By May, people noticed a subtle shift in him. He smiled at his reflection instead of avoiding it. By July, the notebook that had once been a symbol of failure had become a diary of small victories, each one stacking quietly, invisibly, like snow accumulating on a roof. When December returned, so did the Christmas tree. This time, Ethan felt something different. He wrote a new note for his future self, carefully folding it into a red envelope and placing it under the tree. Keep showing up. Tiny steps become mountains over time. Your future self will thank you. New Year's Eve arrived again. Fireworks painted the sky, bright and loud, but Ethan didn't feel the urge to match their intensity with grand promises. Instead, he wrote one simple line in his notebook: "I showed up." For the first time, he understood something profound. Change doesn't need a new year, a new calendar, or a dramatic moment. Change begins the moment you commit to a single habit and repeat it, no matter how small, no matter how imperfectly. Ethan watched the fireworks from his window. The world celebrated new beginnings, but he realized his life had already begun changing. The warmth he felt wasn't from the fire or the lights, it was from knowing he had given himself the most meaningful gift of all: consistency, courage, and trust in himself. And for the first time, Ethan wasn't afraid of a new year. He knew that no matter what date it was, he could face life with small, steady steps, one habit at a time. One day, he would look back and see not just the fireworks in the sky, but the quiet victories he built, day by day, inside himself.